Yes, Java introduction. Here this topic. Yes, previous class topic here. Yesterday topic. Java is an object-oriented programming language. The JDK 1.0. Yes, features. Next 1.1 divided into 3 editions. See first, Java is an object-oriented programming language. Yes, just review on yesterday topic. Just review on yesterday topic here. Next, JDK 1.0. It's a first version of Java released in the year 1995. JDK stands for Java Development Kit. Java Development Kit here. Yes, first version of Java released with main features as below. Like independent platform, portability, next object-oriented programming language, next scalability, and next security. These are the main features of Java. Next, JDK 1.1 release in the year 1996. In the year 1996, a JDK 1.1 divided into 3 editions. 3 editions like standard edition, next enterprise edition, yes, next mobile edition. Later, JDK 1.2, next 1.3, next 1.4. Okay, JDK 1.5 is a Tiger version. Major changes were done in this version. There were major changes in this version. Okay, added one more edition called effects, Java effects. Okay, so finally Java consists of 4 editions. There are 4 editions in Java. So SE standard edition, next WE enterprise edition, next ME mobile edition, next effects, Java effects, totally 4 editions. SE features, compiler parts, OOPS implementations, next string buffer, string builder, string tokenizer. Yesterday we had discussed about this data conversions, exception handling, collections, IV streams, networking, multi-threading. Yes, after this we are going to discuss. Okay. Yes, our syllabus after this. Next JDBC, AWT applets. These things here. Okay, right? Yeah. So this is what we discussed yesterday. Okay, even enterprise edition contents also expand framework for different frameworks, all the expand here. Now, let us start with Java features. Today topic is Java features, main features of Java. Yes, independent of platform. What is platform? Okay, what is independent of platform? Next, portability. Next, OOPS language. What are these features? Let us see one by one here. Yes, to understand independent of platform, first of all, you must have OS knowledge. Some idea about OS now. Yes, we'll discuss now. What is OS? How it is working? We'll discuss. After that, we'll be back to this independent platform. Next, portability. For this case, also you must have OS knowledge. First, we'll discuss something about OS and then back to these two features. Next, object-oriented programming language, OOPS language. There are some languages like functional oriented, procedure oriented, object oriented, different types of languages. We'll discuss about different type of language. So before going to these features here, first we'll discuss about what is OS. Okay. Next, what are different languages? That introduction. Let us start with some introduction here. So before going to this, yes, before going to independent platform, portability, OOPS language, these concepts, before going to these features here, there are some fundamentals. So let us start with some fundamentals. There are some fundamentals here. Let us start with fundamentals. After finishing, we'll go to these actual features of Java. Okay. Yes. Let me open actual document, Java document. So this is Java document. So this is around 470 pages document. This is around 470 page document. Okay, the introduction. Yes, introduction here, like system software, application software. Next, about OS. What is OS? About OS. Next, about application software, like front end and back end expand here. Next, languages. low level, high level languages, low level, high level language, some basics here. Next in this generation of languages, like machine language, system language, procedure oriented language, functional oriented, object oriented, object based here. After this, interpreter and compiler explained. After that, about Java started. Java started here. Java, then Java features expand here. Yes, to understand these features here, to understand these features, you must have this knowledge first of all. What is exactly interpreter and compiler? You must have this knowledge here. Next, what is exactly different languages here? Different languages. Next, what is exactly OS? If you know these basics here, you can understand Java features. You can understand Java features. If you know that these basics here, you can understand Java features. So before going to Java features, let us see about these basics, software basics. Let us start with software basics. Okay. Yes. See, I'm starting from very basics. Yes, even non-IT background guy also can understand. Starting from basics, finally taking to high end. Okay. So first of all, yes, computerware. First of all, computerware. Computerware. See, computerware basically two categories. First one, hardware. Second one, software. Hardware and software. So hardware and software. What is hardware? What is software? See, hardware, I think need not explain about this. Hardware, these are physical components of a computer. Hardware, these are physical components of a computer. Hardware is a physical components of a computer. Yes, software, these are our parts. What is software? So our topic is software. Software is a collection of programs. Everything is programs here. Software is a collection of programs. Software is a collection of programs. Collection of programs. Programs like C, yes, C++, maybe Java, yes, maybe Python, yes, all these softwares, yes, softwares here. In software, everything is program. Software is a collection of programs like C, C++, Java, Python, etc. Okay. Next, software basically two categories. There are two categories in software field here. There are two categories. There are two categories. In software, there are two categories. Two categories. First one, yes, system software. System software. Systems. First one, system software. Next one, application software. Next one is application software. System software. Next, application software. First one, system software. Next, application software. Okay, yes, it's there in document. Don't worry about notes and all this. I'll share the documents. I'll share it. Yes, two categories. First one, system software. Next one, application software. So what is system software? See, Java comes under application software. Java is a application software. So before going to application software, let us see something about system software. So what is a system software? Let us see something about system software. So what is system software? System software. So this one interacts with hardware components. This one interacts with the hardware components. Interacts. This one interacts with hardware components. Okay, interacting with the hardware components like hardware components like keyboards, motherboards, hard disk, monitor, different kind of hardware components. For this example, yes, device drivers, and operating systems. Operating systems comes on this category here. Operating systems comes on this category. Device drivers and operating systems. Device drivers and operating systems comes on this category. Next, application software. So what is application software? This is for the purpose of application developments. This is for the purpose. Yes, for the purpose of application. For the purpose of application developments. For the purpose of application developments. For the purpose of application development. Application software. For the purpose of application development. For the purpose of application development. Application means like apps like Facebook, it's an application. Okay, Gmail, it's an application. Okay, Facebook is an application. Gmail is an application. Flipkart is an application. Suppose some company websites is an application. Applications. Okay. Application software for the purpose of application development. Application like Facebook, Gmail, Flipkart, some websites, all the applications. Okay. Yes, application software, for example, C language, C++. Okay. Next Python. Yes, next Java, next Hadoop. Yes, maybe databases. Yes, all these things comes from application softwares. See, application software for the purpose of application development, different kind of applications. Okay, depends on requirements. We can use different kind of application software. Depends on requirements. Some cases using Java. Suppose server-side programming, maybe using Java and Python. Big data storage using Hadoop, data storage, databases, server device levels, writing in C and C++. Depends on requirements, you can use different kind of application softwares. Depends on requirements, you can use different kind of application softwares. Fine. See, except ways, except ways, yes, everything, yes, is an application software. Everything is an application software. Everything is an application software. Everything is an application software. Except ways. Everything is an application software. OS means like Linux base. Okay, like Linux base. Yes, Windows base. Yes, like Linux base, Windows base, Unix base. Those are the operating systems. Except OS, everything is application software. Everything is application software. Yeah, let us see something about OS. What is OS? Yeah, this is most important point. To understand independent of platform, yes, you must have OS knowledge. Okay, to understand independent of platform, that features, you must have OS knowledge. Operating system. Okay, now here some question, guys. For you guys, some question. Yes, can we run any program without OS? Without OS. Can we run any program without OS? Say yes or no. Can we run any program without OS? Can we run any program without OS? Say yes or no. Just I'm asking your idea. Of course, I'm here to explain everything. Just I'm asking your idea. Can we run any program? Here's a question for you guys. Can we run any program without OS? Can we run any program without OS? Yes. For this answer is no. No. Without OS we can't do anything. Compulsory OS required. Okay. So what is exactly OS here? So what is OS? Now question is, what is exactly OS? How it's working? What is OS? What is operating system? Question is now, what is operating system? How it's exactly working? What is OS? Let us say about OS here. Suppose your laptop. Suppose purchased a laptop, means your hardware. Purchase laptop. After purchasing laptop, next you have to install OS. Next step is installing OS, operating system here. So next we should install OS, operating system. Okay. So first hardware, on top of hardware there is a OS. First hardware, on top of hardware there is a OS. There is a OS, right? On top of hardware there is a OS. See, once OS installed, system is ready. Now this my system is ready with OS, right? Now this OS is the responsible to take your request. This OS is the responsible. Okay, OS. Okay. So hardware, on top of hardware there is a OS. On top of hardware there is a OS, right? Yes. After that, suppose learning Java. For the purpose of learning Java, you have to install Java. Suppose learning C language, you should install C language, C software. So learning C++, you have to install C++. Suppose working with the database you have to install database, maybe Oracle database or MySQL, something like this. Suppose working with Hadoop software you have to install. Suppose using Python software you have to install. All these are called as application softwares. All these are called as application softwares. All these are called as application software. All there. Java, C, C++, database, Hadoop. All these are called as application softwares. All their application softwares. Okay. Now, OS. First the hardware. On top of hardware, this is a OS. On top of OS, all these are running, right? All these are running. On top of OS, all are running. All are running, right? Means on top of this OS, all are running. So OS it's giving platform. Yes, OS it's giving platform to run all the application softwares. So what is OS? Means it's a platform. Yes. Here platform means OS. Java is independent of platform. That means it's independent of OS. How independent of OS we'll discuss next page. Okay. So what is OS? What is OS? So OS it's a platform. It's a platform. It's a platform. It's a platform where it's a platform where we can run all application softwares. Where we can run all application softwares. All application softwares. Okay, it's a platform. OS is working like a platform. So platform means here it's a OS. Platform means here it's a OS here. Okay, so OS is a platform. OS is a platform. It's a platform. Yes, it is a platform where we can run all application softwares. It's a platform where we can run all application softwares. Next, not only platform here, not only platform. Suppose, for example, Java program generating some output here. Output of Java program simply goes to OS. From that, transfer to output device. Transfer to output device. So, for example, C program reading from the keyboard. First, keyboard data goes to OS. OS to then C program. Okay. Maybe input output operations. Yes, between application software and hardware, there is a OS. Okay, there is a OS. Here, no direct communication between application software and hardware. No direct communication. No direct communication. No direct communication. Okay, there is no direct communication between application software and hardware. So between this, there is a OS. It means like a mediator. It's a middle layer between this, right? Like a mediator. Simply we can see the interface. So OS it's an interface between application software layer and hardware components. So next point, yes, it is an interface. It is an interface. It is an interface. It is an interface between application software, application software, yes, and hardware components, and hardware components, application software and hardware. Okay, it's an interface. So first point, what is OS means? Is a platform where we can run all the application softwares. Next, it's an interface. It's an interface between application software and hardware components. Okay. Next, one more thing here. See here, every operating system has its own input-output library. There is input-output library. Yes, input-output library. There is a input-output library to communicate between application software and hardware components. Exactly what is library? Library is like a function, a collection of functions, like a C language library. In C language, there is a stdio.h, right? stdio.h header file, string.h file. These header file contains all the functions. These header files contains all the functions here, all the functions. Library is a collection of functions. See, OS. Yes, every OS developed in C language only. That means they are C language functions. C language functions. Input-output library. So every OS has its own input-output library. Unix has its own library. Linux has its own library. Windows has its own library to communicate between application software and hardware components. Okay, to communicate between application software, hardware components, every OS has its own library. Okay, so every OS has has its own library, has its own library, its own. Every OS has its own library. One second, own library. Yes, every OS has its own library to communicate. Yes, to communicate, to communicate, to communicate, to communicate between application software and hardware components. Okay, so every OS has its own library to communicate between application software and hardware components. Okay, right? Yes. Next here, so Java program, yes, how it can communicate with the hardware components. Java program has to communicate with the hardware components. How it communicates here? First of all, Java program. First of all, Java program links with OS library. First of all, Java program links with OS library. One second. Hello. అయిపోయింది ఆల్రెడీ నేను వచ్చేసరికి అయిపోయింది అయిపోయింది స్టార్ట్ అవుతానండి మళ్ళీ బ్యాక్ ఓకే ఇంటికి వెళ్ళగానే కాల్ చేస్తాను ఎస్ every OS has its own library to communicate between application software, yes, and hardware. Okay, right? Yes. Next, see here, Java program, how it can communicate with hardware components. First, Java program links with OS library. After linking, then communicates with hardware. Java program links with that input-output library. After linking, then communicates with the hardware components. Every program, maybe Java program, or C program, or C++, maybe database, maybe Hadoop. All of the programs first links with OS library. After linking with OS library, then communicates with hardware components. Okay, so every program has to link with the hardware components. Yes, see every program, yes, maybe Java program or C program or C++, database or Hadoop. You take any program, all the programs, first of all, it has to link with OS library. After linking, then communicate with the hardware components. Communicating with the hardware components. So every program has to link. Okay, right? Yeah, this linking maybe at runtime linking or maybe compile time linking depends on application software. So Java is a runtime link. So C and C plus compile time link. That link we'll discuss. Wait. I'll explain. In Java we'll discuss. Okay. See here, every program. Every program. Every program communicates. Communicates with the hardware. Through the OS library. Through the OS library. Okay. So every program communicates with the hardware through the OS library. That is mandatory. Every program like this communication here. Okay, every program, link with OS library. Through the OS library communicates with the hardware component. Just link compulsory here. When this linking takes place, we'll see next. So every program communicates with the hardware through the OS library. That's it. Try to remember this point here. Every program, okay, communicates with hardware through the OS library. That means every program has to link with OS library. Every program compulsory it has to link with OS library. Once linked, then communication starts. Okay, yeah, that's all about OS. Enough. Okay, to understand Java independent of platform, this enough. This OS concept is enough. Okay, yeah, that's all. Yes, about OS. Yes. Now Let us go to application software. What is application software? Yes. Let us see about application software. Yes, application software for the purpose of application development. Java comes under application software. Our topic is application software. Java comes under application software. Java is a application software. Correct? Yes. See, in application software, again there are two categories. Yeah, there are two categories. There are two categories. There are two categories in applications. There are two categories. There are two categories. There are two categories. First one, front end. First one, front end software. Front end software. Second one, back end software. Front end software, next back end software. Front end and back end software. Front end software, back end software. So what is front end? What is back end? 1 second. 1 second. Let me have some water. One second. Yes, application software. There are two categories. First one, front end software. Second one, back end software. Front ends and back ends. So what is front ends? What is back ends? Let us see one by one. Front end, back ends. So what is front end? What is back end? Let us see one by one here. See front ends. Yes, what is front ends? Like this kind of thing is nothing but a front end. This is front end. Something like 1 second. 1 second. This kind of thing form. Yes, here some details provided, right? This is called front end. It's a form. This form taking all the data and storing some location. This form is called the front end. It's a form. Now this form collecting data from end users. Yes, I have provided my data. This is my data. So this is my data, right? I have provided. Okay, so this is called a front end, right? It's a front end. So this is front end. So front end collecting data from end users. Okay, so I'm a end user. See, go to meeting app, go to training app. For this, I'm the end user. Yes, if I say register, it's a registration form. Okay, my details will be sent here. My details will be sent to go to training application. That application taking all this data and storing to some location. That location is called as backend. That location is called as backend here. So backend, front end, backend. See this here. Front end like some form registration form. Suppose first name, something like first name. Okay, right? Yes, yes. Last name. Yes, last name. Last name. Yes, next maybe email ID. Yes, email. Yes, that email ID here. Email ID. Okay. Next contact number. Like this contact number. Contact number. Something like that. Just we are filling that. We are filling all the data here and submitting. Here this submit, right? Register. There is a register button, right? Register. The register button. So once you register, once you click on this register here, once you click on this, now this data go to some location. This data simply go to some location. Go to some location. 1 second. Yes. Once you register, once you submit it, so this data go to some location. That location is called as backend. That location is a backend. That location called as backend. So backend here. That location is called as backend. This is backend. This is front end here. So this is here it is. This is front end. This is front end. Next here it says this is backend. Front end backend is like this. Front end backend. So front end collecting data from end users. See here it's collecting data and storing into this backend database. So about front end and backend. So what is front end here? Front end, yes, it interacts with interacts interacts with end users. End users interact with end users. Front end, it interacts with end users and collects data. Collects data from end user. Collects data from end user. End user. So we are the end users. We are the end users. Okay. Yes, we are submitting. We are providing some information. So we are the end users. Okay. So front end, it interacts. It interacts with end users and it collects data from end user. End user. So front end is to collect data from end user. Next, what is back end here? Back end. What is back end? Back end is to store and maintain data. So back end software. So what is back end? So back end is to store and maintain it. To store and maintain data. To store and maintain data. To store and maintain data. Suppose, for example, let us take Facebook. Facebook. Your ID registered. Okay, once you click on this profile, suppose when you click on profile option, getting all that information, right? When you click on profile, when you click on profile, getting all that information, that means your information stored somewhere. That location is called as backend here. Okay, your information Facebook, when you click on profile option here, getting all that data, right? Means your information somewhere. That location is called as backend here. Okay, so backend to store and maintain data. Maintain data. Backend examples. Backend examples. Examples. Databases, and database and files. Database and files. Yes, in databases we can store data. In files also we can store data. Yes, our topic is front end. Let us come to front end here. Our topic is front end. Okay, our topic is front end here. So front end. So front end. Java comes under front end. Java comes under front end here. Java is a front end. So let us move to front end here. Let us move to front end. Yes, in front end, again there are two categories. Yes, there are two categories. There are two categories in the front end here. Two categories. There are two categories. First one, languages. Second one, packages. Language and packages. Language and packages. Okay. Java comes on language. Our topic is languages. Okay. What is package? Package is a ready-made one, ready to use. Package is a ready-made one, ready to use. For example, MS Office is a package. MS Office is a package. See, here MS Office like this. It's a package. It's a package. All the predefined options like file menu. Okay. Yes, next home menu, insert menu, design menu like this. They are different menus. Okay, it's the ready-made options, readily available. Readily available. Using these options, you can prepare some documents. Using these options, you can prepare document. No programming, nothing here. Programming is not required. No programming. Programming is not necessary here. Readily available. Okay, using this, yes, predefined options. Ready-made one, you can prepare documents. So this is called a package here. So package is ready-made one. Package is ready-made one, ready to use. Example, MS Office. Next, our topic is languages. Java is a language. Yes. Let us come to languages. Languages. What is language? What is language? Java comes under what type of language? We'll discuss now. What is language? Language just is a media of communication between two things, right? Two living things. Maybe two persons, two animals, two trees, something like this. It's a media of communication. Language is a media of communication between two things. Okay, fine. Now come to software. In software, see, we are understanding some language. Our language looks like English language. Next, system understanding some other language. What is system understanding language? It's a binary code, zeros and ones format, called as machine language. System understanding language is a machine language. Yes, like a zeros ones in the form of binary codes. Okay, system understandable language called as low-level language. It's a low-level language. It's a low-level language. Low-level language. Okay, right. Next, second one. Yes, high-level language. It's a high-level language. Low-level language and a high-level language. Low-level language, high-level language. Yes, in languages, basically two categories: low-level languages. Next, high-level language. What is low-level language? Low-level language is a system understandable language. Next, high-level language It's a user understandable language. Let us see one by one. Low level language. Low level language. Yes, it is a system understandable language. Yes, it is a system understandable language. It's a system understandable language. It's a system understandable language. Okay. Yes, it is a system understandable language. Yes, it is in the form of binary code. It is in the form of binary code. Binary code. Binary code. Binary code in the form of zeros ones, right? Zeros ones. It's a binary format. Binary format. It's in the form of binary code. Okay. Yes, low level language. It is a system understandable language. It is in the form of binary code, zeros ones format. It's a zeros ones format, right? Yeah, this language. Yes, it is called as machine language. It is a machine language. It is called as machine language. It is called as, yes, machine language. It is called as machine language. It is called as machine language. So here Java comes under what? High level language. Yes, we'll be moving to Java now. Yes, low level languages. Low level languages. See, languages. Java is a language. Java is a language. Java comes under which language? That is our point actually here. Java comes under which language? That point we should discuss here. So languages. In software languages, basically two categories. Low level languages, next high level languages. Low level languages, next high level languages. Low level language. It's a system understandable. It's a system understandable language. It is a system understandable language. Yes, it is in the form of binary code, zeros ones format. Okay, it's a machine language. This kind of machine language. It's a machine language. Machine language means machine means processor. It's a processor. It's a processor understandable language. Processor understandable language is zeros ones format. It's a binary code. Binary code. Next, high level language. Next is high level language. Yes, high level language. Next is high level language. So what is high level language here? High level language. Yes, it is user understandable language. It's a user. Yes, it is a user understandable language. It is a user understandable language. It's a user understandable language. Okay, high level language. It's a user understandable language. Okay, yes, it is like a English language, like English language, very easy to understand. It is like a English language, very easy to understand, Okay, Java comes under high level language. Java is high level language. C language, C++, Java, yes, all this except machine language, all are high level language. All are high level language like C, C++, Java, HTML, Python, all the languages are high level languages. Okay, right? It's like English language, very easy to understand, right? About low level language and high level language. Next, in this low level language, there are two generations, first generation and second generation. In high level languages, third generation and fourth generation. Now let us come to actual point here. Actual point, yes, generation of languages. Generation of languages. Yes, how many generation of languages? How many generations here? First generated language. Generation of language. Shortcut we can say GL. First GL, it's a machine language. It's a machine language. First GL, machine language. Yes, it's a binary code. So this is binary code. It's a binary code. Binary code like zeros ones format here. It's a binary code. Next, second GL, second generation. Yeah, this is assembly language. Yes, it's a assembly language. Okay. Yeah, these two are system understandable languages. Assembly language little bit looks like English language. Little bit somewhat easy. Assembly language somewhat easy compared to that binary codes. Okay. Yes. Now these two are system understandable languages. See, we are not going to work with this language. No, we are not learning here. We are not going to use this language anywhere here. These are system understandable languages. Okay, right? Next, third L. Yes, third L. Next, fourth L. These two comes under high level language. Okay, so first and second generation comes under low level languages. Examples. First and second generation comes under low level languages. Yes, next high level languages. High level, third and fourth generation. Third and fourth. Third and fourth comes under high level language. These examples. Third and fourth. Your third generation and fourth generation comes under high level language. High level language. Third L. What are the third generation of languages here? Third generation of languages. Yeah, these are procedure oriented language. All procedure oriented language. All procedure oriented languages. All procedure oriented language. Procedure oriented language. These are procedure oriented languages. Third shell. These all are procedure oriented languages like COBOL. Next, Pascal, COBOL, Pascal, Basic. They are very old languages. Yes, in 90s we have these languages. Of course, COBOL still in use. COBOL using for the mainframe applications. Still it is in use. Yes, in our office we are using this COBOL. Yes, because we have some mainframe applications. COBOL. Okay, next Pascal. Okay, next Basic. Next Fortran. These are very old languages. Fortran. Yes, Python. Python is also comes under procedure oriented language. Python is also very old language. Python also very old language, but recently came to limelight because of some new features were added to Python. Okay, yeah, that comparison also we'll discuss. Java, Python, C++. Java, Python, the three languages almost similar. One more Scala is there. C++, Java, Python, Scala. These four almost similar. Yes, that comparison we'll discuss next. Wait. That comparison we'll discuss next. Wait. Yes, next. Fourth generation here. Fourth generation. In fourth generation, there are different kind of things. First one, functional oriented languages. Functional oriented languages. Second one, yes, first one, fourth generation. First one, functional oriented languages. For this example, C language. C is a functional oriented language. Next, Python. Python also functional oriented. In Python, we can write the procedures and functions. Procedure and function both are similar, but some difference. I'll explain just a minute. So in a couple of minutes, I'll explain that. Okay, procedure function difference we'll see next time. Okay, C language, Python comes under functional oriented languages. Okay, right? Next one, yes, objects. Yes, objects oriented programming languages. Object oriented programming languages. Oops language here. Oops language. C++, Java. Next, Python. Next, C#. Next, Scala. Okay, C++, Java, Python, C# and Scala. Okay. Yes, here Scala is the next generation of Java. Yes, Scala is the advanced version of Java. Okay, these all are object-oriented programming languages. Here Scala using for the big data applications. In big data, Spark framework. Scala is a language for the Spark framework. Of course, Java also can use big data applications. Java, Scala, and Python. These three can be used here. Java, Python, Scala. These three languages we can use for big data applications. Okay. Yes. Next here, object oriented. Yes. Next third one, object based languages. Object based languages here. Object based. Okay. So functional oriented languages, object oriented programming language here, object-based language. Yes. What is functional oriented? What is object oriented? What is object based? We'll discuss one by one. I'll explain, don't worry. So one by one I'll explain here. Object based languages such as JavaScript. JavaScript comes under object based language. It's object based language. Okay, right? Next one more, fourth one here. Purely object oriented programming language. Okay, purely object oriented programming language. Yes, these are Python, Python, Python and Scala. Python and Scala. Python and Scala comes under purely object oriented, yes, programming language. Now let us see here all of these things here. What is procedure oriented language? What is functional oriented language? What is object oriented programming language here? What is object based? What is purely object oriented here? Let us see one by one. See procedure. Procedure and function. Procedure and function both are similar. Procedure and function both are set of statements. Both kind of some statements here. Both are set of statements. Both are set of statements. Both are set of statements to perform some task. To perform some task. But some difference is there. What is the difference? Suppose x, some x starting ending. X starting ending. In x first statement. Okay. Yes. Next statement. Okay. Next statement. There are some set of statements here. Next statement. Yes. Next statement. Okay. Next statement. There are some set of statements. Here. X kind of some statements like this. Yes. Procedure function looks like same. Yes. Procedure or function. So about displaying something. It's a function. Procedure. Both are similar, but some difference here. Display with at the end there's the return keywords. Return value. Okay. See here. Display like this. First one display without any return value. Second one with return value. Yes, with return value called as function. So display, this is function. Next, this one is procedure. So this is main difference. Procedure. So function, procedure and function both are set of statements to perform some task. The difference is that function return a value. Function return a value. Function returns a value here. Returning value. Okay. Yes. What is pressure here? Yes. The difference is that function returns a value. Yes. Whereas procedure does not return a value. No return value. Procedure no return value. Whereas procedure does not return a value here. See, this is procedure. Here no return value. Right? Okay. So difference is function. Yes. Returns a value. Function returns a value. Okay. 1 second. Yes. Function returns a value. Whereas a procedure no return value. Procedure does not return a value here. So difference here. Function, procedure both are similar. Okay. Both are set of statements. Only difference is return value. That's it here. Yes. See, in Python we can write the procedures as functions here. But in C language only functions you can write. No procedures concept in C language. In C language, no procedures concept. In Python, we can write procedures and functions also. Okay, so about here, procedures and functions here. See, in procedure-oriented language, every task by the procedure. If task by the procedure, that is called procedure-oriented language. If task by the function, it's called functional-oriented language. See, in C language here, see, here in C language, every task by the function. In C language, every task by the function. That is called as, that's the reason called as C is a functional oriented language. In C language, everything is function. That's the reason called as functional oriented language. Okay. Next, object oriented programming language. What is this? It's a OOPS concept. Yes, that comes from OOPS concept here. OOPS. Yes, OOPS concept. Yes, OOP is a concept. Yes, OOP is a concept here. It is not a language. OOP is a concept here. OOPS concept. This concept is having some features. Yes, OOPS concept has some features. Okay. Yes, concept some features like encapsulation, data abstraction, method overloading, inheritance, and polymorphism. Okay. Yes, OOPS concept has some features. There are some features in OOPS concept here, right? Like encapsulation. Yes, encapsulation. Next, second one, data abstraction. Yes, next, third one, methods, overloading, methods overloading. Next, fourth one, inheritance, and polymorphism. There are many features of OOPS concept. Polymorphism. Yes, more about OOPS concept later we'll discuss. Polymorphism. Okay, these are the main features of OOPS concept. Any language which is supporting all these OOPS concept with these features enough. OOP is having many number of features, around 10 features. Out of 10, these are the powerful features of OOPS concept. These are powerful features. These are powerful. Any language which is supporting these powerful features, that is called OOPS language. Yes, OOPS language examples. C++ is a first OOPS language. First OOPS language, C language, C++ here. Next OOPS is Python. Next OOPS Python. Next OOPS language Java. Next OOPS language C#. Next is Scala. These are the object-oriented programming languages here. Okay. Yes, everything is object. In OOPS language, everything handling by the object here. Okay. Suppose if it is functional-oriented, function handles task. In functional-oriented, function handles task here. In object-oriented, object handles task here. Object handling task here. Okay. So everything is object here. Every transaction by the object. So it's a object-oriented. Okay. Yes, any language which is supporting these features. That is called object-oriented programming language. Okay, right? Yes, examples, C++. C++ is first object-oriented. Next, Python. After Python, next Java. After C#, and then Scala. These are the object-oriented programming language. More about this we'll discuss in Java. In Java, I'll explain it. Yes, in Java, we'll clear it. Okay, right? Yes, next. Object-based language. JavaScript. See, object-based language. Yes, object-based language. Object-based language is similar to, yes, object-based language is similar to object-oriented programming language. Both are similar. Okay. See, object-based language is similar to object-oriented programming language. Both are similar. The difference is inheritance. And suppose if no inheritance, no question of polymorphism. Okay. See, object-based language does not support inheritance. The difference is here. Object-based language does not support inheritance. Except inheritance same. Does not support inheritance. Okay. In both cases, you can write the classes and objects. You can create classes and you can write objects. You can define classes, you can create objects. Both cases, classes, objects, concepts are here. 1 second. Here, JavaScript. JavaScript is a object-based language. In JavaScript, you can define classes and you can create objects. Like a Java, JavaScript is not a Java. JavaScript is different. Java is different. Java is different here. JavaScript is a browser understandable language. Browser. This browser using JavaScript. JavaScript browser understandable language. JavaScript is a client-side validation purpose using here. It's a browser understandable language. JavaScript is a browser understandable language, but Java is a JVM understandable language. JavaScript is different. Java is different here. JavaScript executing by the browser. Java program executing by the JVM. JavaScript and Java both are not same here. So JavaScript is a browser understandable language. Java is a JVM understandable language. This is different. That is different here. Okay. Yes, in JavaScript also we can write classes. JavaScript also you can write the classes. We can create objects like a whoops concept. Here also we can use the object here. But the thing is inheritance. Don't have the inheritance concept with JavaScript here. JavaScript don't have the inheritance concept. So this is main difference between object-based, object-oriented. Now, what is Java? What finally here? Now come languages. In languages here, Java it's a high-level language, right? In high-level language comes under 4th generation. In 4th generation, it's a object-oriented programming language. Java is a object-oriented programming language. Finally here. Okay, in language part here, Java comes under object-oriented programming language. Okay, fine. Next, there's a purely object-oriented programming. So, what is purely object-oriented programming here? What is purely object-oriented programming? Yes, here everything is object. Everything is object. Here, yes, everything is an object. Everything is an object. Everything is an object here. What does it mean here? Everything is an object. What does it mean? Suppose in C language or Java, int a equal 10. Now what is a? It's a variable. A is a variable. That gets 10 here. Suppose float b equal to some 20.5. Yes, b is a variable. Its value 20.5. Yes, a is a variable, b is a variable, right? But in purely object-oriented programming, this 10 storing like objects. 20.5 storing like objects. See, in C language and Java here, 10 storing inside the variable, 20.5 storing inside of variable b, right? They're variables. This data storing inside the variables. But in purely object-oriented programming language here, this data storing into integer objects. This data storing into float type of objects. Everything is objects. For example here, example for this Python and Scala. Python and Scala here. In Python and Scala here, 10 storing like an integer object, 20.5 storing like a float object. Everything is object here. Even basic type also storing like objects. Everything is like objects. Even basic data types like integer floats. These also objects in Python and Scala here. In Python and Scala, both are objects here. These two are objects here. Everything is objects. Okay, in Python and Scala, everything is objects. Here, see, Scala, nothing but here, Scala. Yes, if you know the Python and Java, it's Scala. Scala is equal to Python plus Java. Yes, Scala. In some features matching with Python, some features matching with Java. Yes, Scala supports both Python features as well as Java features here. Some cases matching with Python, some cases matching with Java. Next, apart from Scala is having its own features also. Scala is more than these two here. Scala. If you know the Python and Java, then easy to learn Scala. It's very simple Scala. Of course, without knowing Python and Java also directly can learn Scala also, no problem. Yes, it's data processing language. Scala using for data processing purpose. Okay, using with Hadoop applications. Hadoop big data applications. Big data applications we are using Scala here. Okay, so Scala is an purely object-oriented programming language. Scala and Python. Scala and Python. Scala and Python. Yes, Python Scala is an example of this purely object-oriented. In Python, is everything is object. In Scala also everything is object. Yes, yeah, but different languages. Okay. See, in all the languages, what's a common language? What's a common one? What's a common language observed here? In all the categories, one language. What's a commonly observed one language here? Anything observed? Yes, guys. What's a common language you observed here? What's a common language? Procedure oriented. Here they say Python. Here Python. Functional oriented Python. Object oriented Python. Next object, yes, a purely object oriented Python. Python is a common language. Python supports procedures, functions, objects, and even purely object orientation also. Python is having many number of features. Okay, fine. So these are about different languages. Now, question is what is Java? Question is what is Java here? What is Java? What is Java? Simple answer. Java is an object-oriented programming language. Yes, simple answer. What is Java? Anyone asking question, simply can say that it's an object-oriented programming language here. Okay, whoops language. Apart from that, other features. Okay, yes. Java is an object-oriented language. It's a simple answer. Okay, fine. Next. See. Here, yes, one. Let me open documents. Let me review documents here. Yes, introduction to software. Software is a collection of programs like C, C++, Java, SQL, and other programs. Software basically two categories: system software and next application software. So Java comes on application software. Yes, about system software. Yes, about device driver and OS. Expand here. See OS. It's a platform. OS is a platform where we can run application softwares. It's an interface. Right? Okay. Next, every OS has its one. Yes, every operating system has its own libraries to communicate between application software and hardware components. Okay, fine. Yes. Next, our topic is application. Java comes on application software. So moving to application software. Yes, in application software, yes, front end and back end. So Java comes under front end. So moving to front end. In front end, language and packages. Java comes under languages. So that's the reason move to language. See how I'm introducing into Java. See, first we start with software. In the system software, application software. Java comes under application software. So moving to application software. We are moving to application software. In application software, front end and back end. Java comes under front end. So moving to front end. In front end, languages and packages. Java comes on language. That's the reason we move to languages. In languages, low level, high level language. Java comes on high level. In high level, there is a third generation, fourth generation, right? Yes, now generation of language. First and second generation is low level languages. First and second generation, low level language. Third and fourth, it's a high level language. Okay. See, procedure and function both are set of statement to perform some task. The difference is return value. Return value. Correct? That's it. So this is about all that introduction. Till now, what we discussed, it's there in documents. You guys don't worry about notes. Notes is not necessary. No need of writing running notes. Everything I have prepared. Yeah, this is around 470-page document. You don't worry about notes. Notes is not necessary. Try to understand classes very clearly. You can read documents, daily documents. It is there here. You can read it. Okay. Yes. Next. See, high level languages and low level languages. See, all of our programs like Python program, Java program, C program, all looks like a high level language, like English language. For example, here D drive, so what test Java program, test.java. C is like in Java program, like English language. It's like English language. Okay. Just suppose, for example, here Python program. Yes, these are like English language. Maybe HTML codes. HTML codes also like English language. Yes, HTML codes looks like English language. So for test, see HTML like English language, but system cannot understand this language. System can't understand this language. See, all are like English language, right? HTML English language, Python looking like English language, Java also English like English language. So all are like English language, right? Okay, C programming, everything like English language. This is called a high level language. This code is called a high level language. Okay. Now this high level language has to convert into binary codes. After converting into binary code, system will execute your program. Maybe Python scripts or Java program or C program. All the programs, this high level language has to convert into system understandable language. Who will convert? Who will convert from high level language to binary codes? Now, which one converting from high level language to binary codes? Anyone can you answer this question? Now, which one converts from high level language to binary codes? Which one converts from high level language to binary codes? Anyone can you answer? Of course, I am here to explain everything. I'll explain everything, don't worry. Not ways, not ways. It's not ways. Either interpreter or compiler. Interpreters, compilers checks for errors. First of all, checking for errors. If no errors, converting into binary codes. After converting into binary code, submit it to OS. So OS taking, yes, OS taking your binary codes, OS taking binary codes and submit it to processor. No processor will run it here. See what happens here. Either compiler or interpreter. See, either compiler or interpreter converts your Java codes or Python code into binary codes. Then submit it to OS. OS taking your program file, submit it to processor. Okay. See, previously we discussed OS, about OS. See, here OS, where this OS here. See, Java program, C program. Now these programs converting to binary code. That binary file given to OS, OS will submit to the hardware. Means processor. Processor run here, right? Now here, interpreters and compilers. Interpreters and compilers are responsible. So either interpreter or compiler. Okay, either interpreter or compiler is responsible. Okay, so high level language to low level languages. High level language to low level language. We will convert here. Okay, either interpreter or compiler. Either interpreter or compiler converts from high level language to system understand language, high level language to binary codes. Binary code means low level language. After converting, then executing, giving output here. Interpreter and compiler. What's the difference between interpreter and compiler? This is most important topic. Yes, compulsory interview questions. Interpreter, compiler. What is interpreter? What is compiler? Yes, anyone have the idea? Yes, interpreter, compiler, both are converting from high level language to low level language. Both are being same, but there are many differences. There are a lot of difference between these two. There are many differences. There are many differences between interpreter and compiler. What's the difference between interpreter and compiler? There are many differences. I should explain points wise. See, once again, your document. So this is, so next topic, difference between interpreter and compiler. Yes. See, there are 8 differences. I should explain points wise. Wait, I'll explain. Interpreter, compiler, that okay. What is Java? Java depends on what here. Is it interpreter or compiler based? Java is what here? Okay. See, interpreter based examples, this is. Compiler based example, this is. What is Java? Is it interpreter or compiler? Yes, we'll discuss which. Okay. The Java explanation here. Java explanation. Correct. After that, yes. Now we can understand independent platform. So once interpreter and compiler, the difference is clear here. Yes, here this is some exe file concept here. Compiler generating some exe file, interpreter does not generate exe file. If you know that exe concept here, next interpreter compiler, then you can understand first one independent platform. Otherwise, you can't understand. Okay, of course, tomorrow we'll be discussing about features of Java. So before going to that, first point, we should discuss about interpreter and compiler. Okay, yeah. For this topic, I need more time. So the interpreter compiler minimum 45 minutes required. Yes. See, generally the interpreter means line by line, compiles whole program at a time. Anyone says that only this point, but actually difference is there. There's a lot of difference. There's a lot of difference between interpreter and compiler. So the topic tomorrow will continue. Difference between interpreter and compiler. Tomorrow we'll be discussing about the differences. After that, moving to Java features. That's all for today. Yes, guys, are you understanding my topics? Yes, my way of explanation. My way of explanation. Are you understanding very clearly? Are you feeling any fast? Are you feeling any fast? Is it okay? This base, is it okay? Okay, fine. Yes, my intention is everyone should understand my topics. That's the reason points wise clearly I'm explaining here. Okay, even non-IT background guy also should understand. Yes, my topics like spoon feeding, even documentation and way of teaching and everything like a spoon feeding. Starting spoon feeding, finally I'll take to high end. By the time of finishing course, you must be in a position to put up minimum 4 years of experience. You must put up minimum 4 years of experience. That way I'll explain. Okay, yeah. Yes, any doubts? Yes, don't worry. I will explain slowly. Okay, neatly, clearly I will explain it one by one. Yeah. So tomorrow we'll continue for the interpreter and compiler. Okay. Interpreter and compiler, next features of Java. Yeah, that's all for today. Yes, if no doubts, let us wind up session for today. Yes, if no doubts, let us wind up session. Right? Yeah. So thank you. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.